What I wanted to ask you, and this is a question, I was on Muslim Mastery live stream last night,
Okay.
and one of the questions that came up was about like giving up bad habits or getting rid of bad habits, right?
Mm.
Like different people are suffering from different addictions and different things going on in their lives. So like if I have a bad habit, like how do I actually get rid of it? How do I stop it? How do I
Mm.
change?
That's a massive question. Yeah, it's a really good question. um, with habits, and this is one of the reasons like I teach habit courses now, and inshallah, the Ramadan habit is of course coming up, and this is going to be the focus on working on habits. So with bad habits, there's a few principles I can give, and then the rest, honestly, it's a big topic. It's something you ought to research and learn about. But in essence, with a habit, you got to understand that a habit, it's come about over time. And there's several factors, right? We could boil it down to 7, 8, 9 factors which cause a habit to become consistent. But one of the things is like people. The reason why we do certain things is that we get a benefit from it, right? Let's just take an example. Let's take an example of, for example, sleeping in at Fajr, right? So say for example you're sleeping in at Fajr. So the benefit we get is like sleep, right? We enjoy the sleep. So whenever we do something, we do it because we enjoy, we get some kind of the nafs get some kind of benefit from it. The second thing is the reason why something becomes habitual is that our brain has created a shortcut. Our brain's very efficient and it's always looking for shortcuts. So if you create a kind of shortcut, if you create a kind of a path in your brain, right, and then you keep repeating it, that becomes very efficient for the brain to just do it by on autopilot. Now the good news is that you can short circuit that. You can break that habit, and you can replace it, right? And so that's what we want to do with bad habits. We want to kind of we can do the opposite, right? So let's look at 3 ways we can do it. So one way is to make the habit unattractive. The second thing is to break the automatic nature of it. And then the third thing is to replace it with something which is equally attractive, right? So for example, on the same topic. So say for example we're saying that it's what was the first thing I said? That it's
It's about making it feel like a negative thing.
okay, right. So it's we want to make it unattractive, right? So one way to make kind of sleeping in unattractive is that you could give yourself, and this is quite powerful, is to set a penalty. Right, I find this really good, especially with things which are, like kind of like maybe haram or something like that. But I think you could set a penalty. So I do it in layers. I would say like have an accountability partner like your wife or even a friend. Sometimes the further removed they are from you, the better it is, right? Because your spouse, you'll make exceptions, right? So get
Yeah.
a friend and say, look, if I do this certain thing, I'm going to try not to do this. If I do it, I'm going to give you 20 quid, right? Or do it to something, something which will hurt you. Money normally hurts, right? So that's one level, and so that makes it unattractive, right? So that's going to help you break the habit. A second thing I said was to break the kind of automatic nature of it, right? So the automatic nature is that like every single day. So say for example you're sleeping in, maybe it's because you're always sleeping at a certain time, and so just change that routine. Right? Change that routine when you go to sleep. Change your sleep routine so you're more likely to get up and less likely to sleep in. Yeah. And then thirdly, so I said a third way to do it. So we said make it unattractive, make it change the routine. The third one was to replace it with something better, right? So we want to make getting up for Fajr. We want to make that something which is attractive. Okay, so one way to make it attractive is to give yourself a reward. Now, normally, alhamdulillah, one of the things about ibadah is that they have so much intrinsic reward anyway, right? So a few times, hopefully doing those 2 things, and then you start getting up for Fajr, the sakina you feel and the confidence and that sometimes is enough to like make you feel like, wow, this is beautiful. I don't want to go back, right? But to be safe, it's best to have an extrinsic reward as well with the intention of getting this habit. And so, it can be, and it doesn't have to be complicated. People think, oh, reward, I've got to go to Alton Towers. No, right? It could be just like, it could be like you come back from Fajr and you have like, like a cup of tea, right? Or, you tell your wife, you'd be like, if I come back from Fajr, I want a massage, right? Please, right? You can come creative and have a reward. So I think those 3 things are pretty powerful ways to break a bad habit. Sure.
Amazing.
It is a science, and I do recommend in Ramadan, come on the Ramadan habit course, and inshallah you can learn and we can work together in a community on how to kind of break and build good habits, inshallah.
Definitely.